Today I'd like to talk about my Anderson sliding door. I've got an early 80s house, and my understanding is that these are 2 and 3 panel sliding doors manufactured from something like 1966 to 1983. So this is the lock, this is the door latch, and the problem I'm having, my door latch just came off. And the problem we're having here is that this is the outside door handle. It's using these little screws. They're number 10 screw with a 32 thread. I assume that's threads per inch, so it's a 10-32 screw. And the problem is that the threads go into this exterior door handle, and they're stripped out. The ends of this are stripped out. I've used a tap and tried to clean up the threads with the 1032 tap, and there's still just too much play in the threads to hold it in, and it doesn't go very deep in there. So I'm going to try and cook up. You can buy these handles still. They're like $70 each, and I'd have to source screws that are the right length. What I'm going to try and do is use just a couple dollars worth of screws to rig up an alternative to this. So here's what I ended up using. I used a 1032 2.5 inch screw with a tapered head. You could also use a flat head, it doesn't really matter. I went stainless. I used a nylock nut to lock things in place, Phillips head screwdriver, 3/8 inch wrench, and here's the part numbers for the ones I got at Home Depot, so anybody's interested. So let me show you a quick mock-up of what I was talking about. So this is the outside of the door handle, and this is going to be up underneath the seal, so I don't have much room. On the current way it goes, the bolt goes in from the inside of the house, sits flush here, goes through the door, and comes up flush on the outside. There's not really much room, and those threads are toast. I realized when I was looking at this that there's actually a lot of room to accommodate this latch in the door. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but basically there's at least this like ½ inch worth of room on either side where the latch clears. So what I should be able to do, I bought some different bolts too. So this is a 2.5 inch number 10 that's got a oval head Phillips with like it's tapered like the original one. So the original one appears to be like 2 inches. This one's 2.5. So I'm just going to take these 2.5 ones in, jam them through. That'll push the seal out of the way. And then what I'm going to experiment with here is if I close the door, here, if I hold this in all the way, push it in, and close the door, it still shuts, basically. So I'm just going to take this and put a nylock nut on the other side of it, and maybe we can fix this with $2 worth of parts. Alright, I YOLO'd and it worked. So basically what I did, the original method was this 2-inch long 10/32 inch screw that goes from the inside handle through to the outside handle, and it sits flush. The tip of this sits flush right here. The YOLO method is get a 1032 2.5 inch. So that's this guy right here, and get some 1032 nylon lock nuts, and basically all I'm doing is I'm taking my 2.5 inch screw in place of the 2-inch screw, jamming it through. I did clean up these threads with a 1032 tap so that they'll go through, but I assume you could also just like you could also clean them out with a drill bit or something just so that it goes in smooth. I wouldn't buy a whole tap and die set, but if you buy individual taps, they're not that expensive. So then I got this guy right here, The new one just like a little bit shy of, like a little bit more than flush, a little bit through. I got my nylock, and I'll kind of get this started here off camera. Alright, so I got my nylock jammed in here on the outside, just sitting a little bit over top of this. I'm going to take my 3/8 inch wrench. I'm going to take my Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to hold this here with one hand and tighten the Phillips head screwdriver a bit, get this started and seated, and then I'll tighten it all the way. Alright, I ended up having to hold the inside with the Phillips and then tighten it on the outside with the 3/8 wrench. This is kind of splayed apart here. I might get some gray caulk and fill that, but check this out. Handle's nice and tight. It closes, and a little weird bonus thing, my lock now actually works better than it did before because somehow it's tweaking the alignment of the door. So I think that's it. I've put in $2 worth of bolts, and I saved myself having to buy a $70 replacement handle. Hope that helps somebody.